Hello, our union government has done it again. They have once more withdrawn a currency note from the market, this time the 2000 rupee note. But unlike the infamous Notbandi of 2016, the country has some breathing time. You can get the notes exchanged at banks till September 30, but only 10 notes at a time. Nevertheless, panic is gripping the country. Why is the government doing it now? Do they want to track me? Will ED, income tax or some similar outfits come knocking at my doors? The fear is not only from any black money hoarder, but also from the common people. Who wants to face the enforcement authorities, isn't it? And suddenly the market is flooded with 2000 rupee notes. Newspapers are full of such reports. Shopkeepers are the first to feel the impact. And now many are refusing to take such notes anymore. Traders and businessmen are now reluctant to visit banks, fearing to be caught in the income tax department's radar. The New Indian Express has this quote from a building material supplier. We keep some cash for the working capital requirements of 5 to 7 days, about 20 lakh rupees, mostly in 2000 rupee notes. Now I have to exchange it, but my customers are also paying me in 2000 rupee notes. What can I do? And this dilemma is across the country, across the sectors. Sensing panic and confusion, the government has come out with some amendments and clarifications. Number one, that the 200 rupee notes will continue to be a legal tender even after the deadline. Oh, then why is there a deadline for exchange of notes? Nobody knows. Next assurance is that nobody is watching and notes can be exchanged in any banks without any documents. But the people are still skeptical. The disaster that struck them as demonetisation happened just 7 years ago. Remember all the mayhem. All the brave words and chest thumping evaporated in days, and the nation literally came to a standstill. So we can't blame the people. The question we should be asking is that what provoked the union government to do this now? The official justification is clean note policy, which literally means keep the notes clean and replace the damaged notes with new ones. But here, the attempt is to take the entire 2000 rupee notes out of the market. Why is that? The printing of 2000 rupee notes was stopped in 2018-19 financial year. At that time, the total value of such notes was around 6.73 lakhs, more than one-third of the value of notes in circulation. But today, the value of such notes in the market has come down to 3.62 lakhs, around 10%. Still, the government wants to withdraw it. Why? Well, there are many theories, including targeted attacks on certain businesses, individuals, or the political opposition. The last date of exchange of 2000 rupee notes at banks is September 30, which is 2 months away from several state elections. Anyway, the 2000 rupee note was the epitome of the misfired and foolish demonetisation drive. Remember the hype around it. Cheap and all.
बातें बताई गई हैं कि उसमें नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी जीपीएस का इस्तेमाल है. अगर एक जगह पर बहुत सारे नोट एक साथ पड़े रहेंगे, इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट में इसका सिग्नल है.
Even otherwise, issuing a more value note, replacing 1000 rupee note with 2000 to control money hoarding was itself a joke. Now the government says that it was put out in a hurry to cover the currency scarcity caused by demonetisation. Currency is not just a means of exchange but a symbol of a nation's trustworthiness and financial stability. The government, alas, has once again messed with it. Let's hope that there will be minimum impact on the country and the economy. We will have to wait and see. The Adani investigation is getting murkier day by day. The Supreme Court committee finds no prima facie evidence for stock price manipulation. Security Exchange Board of India claims Adani Group was never investigated by them till the Hindenburg allegations. And Adani is all set to raise some 20,000 crores through qualified institutional placement. Are the allegations against Adani Group going to die out? Is everything back to business as usual? It was in the Supreme Court that SEBI denied any investigation against Adani Group of companies until the allegations surfaced. Court was considering SEBI's request to extend the time frame of investigation by 6 months. The counter petitioners alleged that it was a ploy to drag the investigation further, since they were already investigating Adani ever since 2016. This was vehemently denied by the board. As soon as the deliberation in the court appeared in news, many were astonished. Congress leader Jairam Ramesh took to Twitter calling their bluff. He tweeted the all reply of Minister of State for Finance Pankaj Chaudhary. It got mentioned of SEBI's investigation as well as the investigation of Directorate of Revenue Intelligence. The government was now in a fix. Should they swallow their own words for Adani or stand by what they said? At last, government chose the latter. The Minister of Finance reiterated that it stood by what it said in Lok Sabha, which was based on due diligence and input from concerned agencies. Thus, they washed off their hands and now SEBI has to justify what it said in the court. We haven't heard yet from them. But the crux of the things is that SEBI seems hell-bent to defend Adani, and many allege that their request for more time to finish investigation is to buy time for Adani to stabilize things. Meanwhile, beyond the news headlines that flashed about clean sheet to Adani on stock price manipulation by the Supreme Court committee, the committee's preliminary report has something more. It has pointed towards 13 portfolio investors who have invested heavily in Adani companies. There are names like Elra India and Opla Investment, all named in the Hindenburg expose also. The committee notes that SEBI is also investigating the same. If found out that these firms are prompted by Adani, it becomes a serious violation of law that stipulates that the promoters of a company can't hold more than 75% of company's shares. But, and now that's a big but in the report. The report says it is concerned that the investigation has so far hit a wall in finding out the persons behind these portfolio investors. It's a very complex web of investors and companies, the committee remarks. The report uses phrases like journey without destination and chicken and egg situation. In short, what everybody is saying is that something is fishy, but we may not be able to find it. Meanwhile, the conglomerate is set for the next leap, amassing 20,000 crores, which it lost when the last public issue of shares bombed. Now it's time for other important events in a quick glance. While the investigation of Adani companies is dragging, 6 short sellers are being investigated by the Enforcement Directorate and SEBI. They are alleged to have shortened the Adani shares when the Hindenburg report came out. The agencies are probing whether there was any inside trading by these agencies. Public sector banks' cumulative profit crosses 1 trillion mark. State Bank of India accounted for nearly half of the total earnings. The bounce back is from a total loss of 85,000 crore in the financial year 2017-18. 12 banks witnessed a 57% increase in total profit compared to last year. Except Punjab National Bank, all the public sector banks have made impressive increase in their profit after tax. Toe prints for Aadhaar cards. Noida police arrested 7 people who are alleged to have used toe prints to create forged Aadhaar cards. These were used to fraudulently take bank loans. Police suspect that the loan amount ran into crores. India recorded the second highest number of attacks on defenders protesting harmful business practices in 2022. The country saw 54 such incidents of attacks, which is lower only than Brazil's record of 63, says a report by Business and Human Rights Resource Center, which is an international non-profit organization. India's Jindal Steel Limited was among the companies associated with the highest number of attacks. Earth will cross the crucial 1.5 degrees Celsius global warming threshold in 2028, predicts the World Meteorological Organization. An expected El Nino on top of the overall global warming trend is likely to push the global temperature to record levels. The report warns that even though it will climb down a bit next year, if we fail to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to net zero, increasingly worse heat records will tumble beyond this decade. Well, that's all from us. Goodbye till we meet again.